This episode's brought to you by Red Cape Films. Today's episode is sponsored by FNC House of Cards, sports cards and collectibles, located in Windsor, Ontario, Canada.
Welcome everyone back to yet another episode of Red Cape Sports. Once again with me is Frank. Just can't get enough of Frank. People love him, maybe not his basketball knowledge, but nonetheless they love you, Frank. Speaking of basketball, and all sports, no sports are currently being played. And one thing that Mitch and I are always being asked within the comment section is, when are sports coming back?
Sadly and unfortunately, we are going through rough times right now. Yes, I understand the safety of the fans, safety of the people is more important, and the decisions that have been made so far are 100% correct. It is so not worth it to risk the well-being of thousands of people just to watch a sports game. Unfortunately, I don't see a quick solution for this. It has to happen. We've been hearing about it, and I'm a strong believer that we have to go through the worst in order to get to the best. Yes, we miss sports. Yes, we being limited to watching Misplace of the Month from 2 months ago is not the way to go. However, that's only my opinion. I could be wrong, but my opinion, and I strongly believe that we might be done for the season to watch some sports. Hockey, I believe it's done for the season. I don't see it coming back.
Not even playoffs?
Not even playoffs.
Because I actually read something last night, and right now the NHL does have a contingency plan to at least kind of end the season where it is and then begin playoffs. And then they're talking about the NHL champion being crowned in August, which is late for hockey.
Yes, but I mean, that's not going to sit well. I mean, how do you explain that to teams that have 2 games in hand and they're only 1 point behind? How are you going to tell a team that, yes, you are 1 point behind, but you have 2 games in hand on a team that's in the last playoff spot right now? Yes, they're talking about adding another team to the playoffs to compensate for that, but it's just not going to sit well. It's basically you're awarding somebody something that in the end there's a chance that he might not deserve it.
Yeah, absolutely
right?
True.
We all know that teams near the end of the season, that's when their best come up. We all know that teams are made the playoffs already or locked in a spot, will not play their stars, which gives other teams, like the teams are 1 or 2 points behind, a chance to catch up.
Yeah.
To tell them right now that sorry, you're out, they're in already, it's just unfair. I don't see this being good. I don't see this being a solution. Missing 2-3, this will affect everything. Will affect the most important thing, the draft. Now, basically the bottom team right now is Laughlin, Detroit Red Wings. Worked hard for it to achieve the first or a chance at a first overall.
They worked really hard.
They worked really hard for it. Yeah. So basically, you're telling them, here you go. We are rewarding you for everything you've done. You know. No, I just don't see that's a solution. I mean, it's not the first time that a season was scrapped. We've had blackouts. We have everything. So it's not the first time. Yes, we'd love to have a winner every year, but it's just not about winner. Let's just make sure that the world is safe first before we think about awarding a winner. Okay? So what? No winner. Big deal. Back 10 years from now, we're going to look at it as like, oh, look at this team. They won their first Stanley Cup, and guess what? It was awarded to them.
Yeah,
okay?
Yeah, we don't really want
Do you really want to win your first cup like this? Imagine, take it, as a diehard Toronto fan. Would I want the Leafs to win the cup under these circumstances? Absolutely not. Although we've been waiting since '67. Okay?
You might take it.
I mean, we'll take it just to say we won one, but would that be the memory I'm waiting for?
No,
No,
of course not.
No.
The NBA's being pretty optimistic, and they're looking to resume league play and kind of push everything back. So that's interesting. But what I also find more interesting is the NFL. We're talking about a sport with so much contact, and they really haven't paused anything, and of course it is in the off season. But they just announced a couple hours ago. I was checking on my phone, and of course, according to those reliable sources, that they're still planning on having the NFL draft, and they're still planning on basically keeping everything. They finally agreed to the deal there with the CBA. So basically, we're gonna now see 2 extra playoff teams and 1 less preseason, but 17 actual games, and that to me is a bit crazy too. And the coronavirus is really changing things. But is there one sport, Frank, that you can see still coming back?
Yes. In my opinion, the only sport that I honestly think it has a chance to resume as it should, and it's baseball. I think the MLB will go on.
Yeah.
They have the best chance right now because all they're losing is preseason time, and since they play every day anyway, and that because in hockey and basketball and football you cannot say day game night game. You cannot do a doubleheader. In baseball you could easily do doubleheaders.
Yep.
Okay, so basically you miss 10 games in the beginning of the season, you could easily make them up within the next month or so.
Yeah.
That's the one sport that I can see it going on, beating this.
If it is a shortened season, is that more reason for all the lobbyists who want baseball to really be a shorter season? Is that more reason for them to do it?
Absolutely not. These rules have been implemented. These rules have been stood up for years and years and decades. It's not going to take a coronavirus to change them. No, you don't need a shorter season.
Agreed again.
Yeah.
Can't believe it. We're agreeing.
Yeah. No, the season is fine as it is. Like I said, you don't need to shorten it at all. You can make it up easily. Think about it. How many games are you going to miss? 10 games you're playing over the span of how many months? All you have to do on average, if you miss 10 games, is make up 1 game every 2 weeks. And you caught up within 3 months, 4 months.
Yeah.
Okay? That's all you need. And in baseball, it's not as much stress as it is like other sports. Athletes don't get overexhausted like they do in football, right? In football, they only play once a week. Yeah, but the beating they take in that week sometimes takes more than a week to recover from.
For sure.
Hockey, you can see them playing 30-second shifts and they're out of breath after the 30 seconds. Okay? Basketball, it's run, back and forth, back and forth. In baseball, it's not that much stress physical. Yes, it takes a lot and you gotta be tough and you gotta be fit. Okay? But most of the stress on a baseball player is mentally. And that is just as important as physically. I'm pretty sure baseball will come through. Baseball, in my opinion, again, will resume. Will be a full season. And after all, it is America's pastime, so they need something. Not they're saying us Canadians don't love baseball. We do, and we want to see it. We want to.
100%.
We want to see it thrive. We want to see. I think baseball will show the world that we can beat the coronavirus. It's just a bad black dot in our timing, and we'll just have to erase it. That's the way to go.
Yeah, and hopefully, when baseball does resume, it also helps limit the smudge that baseball has from the Houston Asterisks, as I call them as well, because in a funny way, it seems like every year in sports, there's a big story, and then there's another big story that kind of kicks it under the carpet. And an example with that is very unfortunate Ray Rice, right? Beating his girlfriend in an elevator, and then just a few months later, we had Deflategate. So it seems like there's always something, and I really hope you're right. Baseball is America's pastime, and then also, of course, the main purpose of this channel is for sports cards. I feel like, it's summertime, it's nice out, you go out, you go to your, a store like yours, or you just have a better positive vibe, and I feel baseball can solve a lot of those issues, and like you said too, right? I mean, it's not really much contact. Even with the ball, okay. Well, I mean, it went from the pitcher's hands to maybe yours, but there's more that we can do about that. I don't think that they're gonna go ahead with things like the London series, and of course, playing in Mexico.
Yes,
but
yes. Those things are scrapped. Yeah.
But I think that there's still a season that we can salvage, and that's I guess, part of the beauty of having such a long season. So
Yeah, and the only thing that I honestly think that will be added to that or will be affected in baseball, it's maybe they're gonna limit the amount of fans that can attend the games.
Yeah.
Okay, just for a little while, you know. And I'm not saying drop them down from 10,000 to 1,000. No. No. I think they're gonna limit where there's enough fans to be in a stadium and a ballpark to watch the game. But I mean, the one saying that it's been said for 100 years and it's going to keep going on, it's better safe than sorry.
100%.
Okay. I'm sure the teams know that. I'm sure the teams use that. And no, we'll be fine. We need something to talk about through these bad times. We need something to talk about, and we got to start with something. And one sport is better than nothing. Okay.
Oh, Frank, I full on agree. Like you said, during these tough times, there are no sports, but me personally, I'm choosing to be optimistic, and I think baseball will return this season. So, real quick before we leave, good time, bad time, what would you suggest in terms of buying cards, selling cards, or holding?
Well, if you have your financial priorities all paid, of course, everything is good right now. Unfortunately, I would hate to say that it's a buyer's market. It's the bad human nature. It's panic. Panic is a disease that basically it's only in us, and a lot of people panic quick. I've seen it several times in the past. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna say I capitalized on it a few times, and this is gonna be one of those other times. Yes. Some people might think it's sad to take advantage of a situation, but it's really not taking advantage of anything. It's there's buyers, there's sellers. There's a good time to buy and a good time to sell. Yeah. This just happened to be a good time to buy. If you're into sport cards, I can see it that people will panic and start selling everything and flood the market. And flooding the market means prices go down. They eventually will go back up. If you're a collector and you love collecting, think about it. All I'm gonna say is think about it before you do it. Okay? Is it worth it? Do you need it? Do you need to do it? If you don't need to do it, don't sell. Because right now, as much as I like for people to come sell stuff to me cheap, but I just don't see it's the right thing to do. Yes, I will capitalize on it. Unfortunately, I will have to, because like I say, I'm as much as I am a collector, it's a business, and I'll do what's better for my business. And after all, everybody, you guys know that my prices are not most of the time market prices. It's I sell according to what I buy. If I buy it cheap, I sell it cheap. Okay, so it doesn't go one way; it goes two ways with me. But yes, it will definitely be a buyer's market right now. There's some good deals to be had. I can see in the next week or so.
For sure, I know myself. Not too long ago, just picked up a few stuff on eBay as well. So thank you so much, Frank.
My pleasure.
And thank you all so much for watching. Remember, if you like this video, please leave us a big thumbs up. Also, please go check out Frank's Facebook page. We will also link to that down in the description below. But until next time, see ya.